Hey, what's up? My name is Sammy. I've been dropshipping on eBay for the last 7 years, and today I'm gonna be talking to you about the sniping technique. In the last in the last video, I listed 4 items I documented completely, and I showed you guys all how to do it step by step. I listed 4 items using the sniping techniques, just 4, and in 5 days, I sold one of them, and I sold another one of them. Right? You can see that the price that we bought this index tabs was $9.99 and we sold it for 25 bucks. So over 150% markup. And the other item we sold at 9.24 and we purchased it on Amazon for 6.99. I got a couple sales in between, right? You can see that the profits for these items are higher because you can see this automatic solar predator, right? We went ahead and purchased it for $24.99, and then this $39.97 item we purchased it for 1999. But the main thing that we're going to be discussing is the product research technique where I listed 4 items and I sold 2 in the last 5 days. Doesn't mean the other 2 are not going to sell. We just have to give it some time. But the point is, I listed these items live on camera, right? On the video right over here, right? If you go ahead and scroll down to 2256, I listed this index tabs. And then if you go over here at 1829, right, I went ahead and listed this classic candy, right? And they both sold on eBay. So when I made this video and I said sales are guaranteed dropshipping on eBay with this product research method sniping, I was telling the truth, right? This product research method is a very powerful method, and if you understand it and why it works, it'll probably be one of the most powerful things that you can apply to your eBay dropshipping business. Right, so right now what I'm doing is I'm scanning the competitors, and for everybody who hasn't watched this video, right, watch this video. The reason why is because I'm expanding from this video. This is a part 2 about the sniping technique, right? I'm gonna kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of the things that we didn't get to touch upon in this video, so that way we can have some more clarity in the method and why it works. So for everybody who doesn't watch it, watch that video. And for everybody else who's watching this video for the first time, I do have a dropshipping course, right, where you can watch and you can learn how to dropship step by step. We have a whole bunch of videos, a quick start guide that lets you get started. It's taught by me and my partner. And what we do is we sell the course for 97 bucks. You can get it you can get it for $97 and you get 1 month free of EcomSniper, which is the tool that we use to go ahead and dropship on eBay. Alrighty. So you just use the code first100. Just read it over here. This is a promotion code, yeah? Alrighty. So without further ado, I went ahead and started scanning my competitors. And what I want to do now is I want to start looking into them, yeah? So let's go ahead and press show all items and see what we have. So the first thing is what I'm looking for in the product research method. I'm looking for items that sold a minimum of 3 times in the last 3 days, right? The more recent, the better. And if I click apply, I'm not getting any items, right? This is a shame, right? Let's go ahead and look for maybe 3 times in the last 7 days, actually. Let's see what we get. So right over here, you can see that this item sold 3 times, 1 time in the last 3 days, right? This item sold 2 times last 3 days, 1 time, etc. So if you can find items that sold 3 times last 3 days, that's good. That's very good. So the way that you find these items that sold many times in the last couple of days is if you just go ahead and scan a big list of competitors. So I don't want to make this video too long in case things go over somebody's head, because I went ahead and explained the sniping method more in detail in the previous video. What I want to do in this video is just kind of go into a little more detail on why things work and some of the more advanced features, yeah? So let's say this item sold 7 times in the last 3 times in the last 7 days, right? This item sold 2 times last 3 days, right? I want to go ahead and list this item now, right? Because it did fill our criteria or it's close enough. You don't have to always have 3 times in the last 3 days. It could be a variable, right? At the point is we're checking the purchase history to see if the item is in demand, right? The more times it's sold in the last 3 days, the more proof that we have that these are good items to list. So for example, this magnetic leather bookmarks, right? It's $8.99, right? And we're looking for a break even of $6.90. Let's go ahead and search on Amazon if we can find any item that matches our criteria. So we can see that this item is $3.99, right? And our break even was $6.90, right? And you can see that the item is pretty much exactly the same. Colors are a little bit different, but it's not that big of a deal, right? As long as, like, the thing that you have to understand about the sniping technique is it's the title that's sold, right? And it's the product that's sold, right? The picture that's sold. For sure, maybe the picture might not be one for one accurate, but we do know that that picture, as long as it's a very similar item, there's no reason that it won't sell. So this item is not exactly, it's not a carbon copy, but you can see that it's close enough. So we gotta copy the title because the title is what that proved to sell. And then we just go ahead and import the title from our competitor and we lower the price. So what we can do before we do that is to go ahead and check what the lowest competitor is. So we just search this title, this exact title. We search it on eBay and then we sort for the lowest price. And we find the picture that is closest to our image, right? We look for the dropshipper that has the closest image. You can see it's 698. So let's go ahead and put it for 689. Just because we want to make sure when we list the item, we're very competitively priced, right? And we want to make sure that our main competitor, right, the one who has the closest price to us or who has the cheapest price, that's going to be our main competitor, that we are beating his price. So let's go ahead and press snipe list. Alrighty. So what I like to always do is if I went ahead and searched on Amazon normally, right, we would find the same item, right? 3.99, or we would find maybe a similar item, right? But what I'm looking for really is just like that just like that product that we sniped before, right? The book holder. It wasn't the exact same product, but we copied the title. And that title was what made all the difference, yeah? So the main thing is if you cannot find the same exact product for cheaper, or if you find a cheaper product but it's the same exact thing, just use that instead because we are really sniping the price and the title. So for example, this item over here, right? I'm gonna sort it by lowest price on Amazon, and I'm gonna click it, and I just press right click, and we can see it's $3.99. And this guy is using the cheapest price anyway. So let's go ahead and or the cheapest item on Amazon for this item. So let's go ahead and search. So let's go ahead and use this and import his information, his item number, and lower the price. But before we do that, we always check the competitors. Right? We go ahead and because look at this guy. 849, right? Our sniped item shows 899, and the main reason that we're checking for the lowest price competitor is because sometimes we get guys that are listing the same item but for cheaper. He's doing it for 630. And if he's doing it for 630, right? This guy who's selling it for 849, we might be getting, outshined by this 630 seller. So we want to sell it for 625 instead. So let's go ahead and put it at 625. So we should still have margin because the item is $4. So I'll put it for 625, right? And then I'll press snipe, right? And then we'll continue from there. So I just want to make sure I have auto submit on just so that it lists the item. And then let's go ahead and find an item that's a little more highly priced. So I don't have enough data here to find items that sold 3 times in the last 7 days. So let's look for items that sold 3 times in the last 14 days. I have 10 results now. Right? And I'm looking for now an item that is a little more expensive just to go ahead and show you where I'm coming from. So this item over here, you can see the sourdough starting jar, right? It sold 3 times in the last 14 days, right? Let's go ahead and check the sold history on eBay, right? It sold on September 10th, so somebody else is selling this item, or that was the guy that we scanned that sold the item, right? June 26th, June 18th. Well, we don't have too much data on this guy, but we do know that this item sold 3 times in the last 14 days, right? And let's see if we can find an item that's cheaper, but that means the same thing on Amazon. So right over here, 349, 499. The margins are pretty insane, right? But it says sourdough starter jar kit with 35-ounce sourdough bread baking supplies. Okay, so that's what worked. So let's go ahead and use that exact title, but for this instead. Right, this one has 2 spoons inside of it, so I don't know if they are including spoons. So let's go ahead and take a look, right, to see if the spoons are included. So sourdough bread baking supplies with thermometer, feeding date band, silicone scraper, silicone spoon cloth cover. So there's a lot of value inside of this title. Um, so let's go ahead and see if there's something that's providing more. So this one over here with okay, so this one is pretty much saying we're getting a bunch of stuff as well. So let's go ahead and just use his title, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and press import. I don't know if this is 35 ounce, so let's go ahead and check ounce. So I'm looking for the word ounce inside of like my my product description. Okay, so I'm looking for milliliters. Hold on a second. Okay, so this one is 800 milliliters. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 800 milliliters instead. And then instead of 35 ounce, I'm just gonna go ahead and do milliliters to ounce and do maybe 800, which is 27. So let's go ahead and put 25 ounce, 27 ounce, 800 milliliter sourdough baking supply. Just use the exact same title as him, but just change up the details and click snipe. So now that we get associated with his listing. So this one looks like it's saying please fix the issue. I guess the problem was, hold on. Okay, so we just went ahead and just fixed it. It was listing as a bid for some reason, but we can see that these 2 items that we went ahead and listed. So the main thing that I'm trying to imply here is the item does not have to be the exact same item. You can find a cheaper item, right? Maybe these guys, their competitors, were not able to compete with, right? Look, this fake vines room for decor. Let's go ahead and check Amazon for the lowest price, right? You can see that this one is $5.98. These are six. These are a little more expensive, right? Is this a 6 pack? This is a 12 pack. So we need something that's at least a 12 pack if we're gonna compete. Otherwise, it's not really the same item, right? So this one over here, you can see it's 12 pack, 84 feet. It's the same exact title. We're gonna copy this title. The product is a little different, but let's go ahead and import his price and title, and then we're just gonna go ahead and click snipe. Right? It's the price and title, right? That's really what we're sniping here, right? This is what makes all the difference. Before I listed this, I should have checked the competitors, right, to see who has the lowest price. Right? I'm gonna sort by the lowest, so it's $8.99. So I want to list it for $8.49. So this one over here, I should have put it for 49 something, just lower than the main competitor, right? Because the main competitor is selling at 8.99. And if we go ahead and check the sold, how many people are selling it, you can see September 10th, 9th, right? Let's go ahead and sort it by the sold date. And then you can see that these 2 guys sold it, but I think that's more than enough data to tell us that this is a good item to list. So let's go ahead and take a look. This guy sold it 5 times, this guy sold it 4 times. So we know that this is a good product to list just from looking at the data. So my whole point of this method is you don't need to have the same exact picture, right? The same exact picture. As long as the title and the price is lower than everybody else, you'll make the sale. So don't feel scared, right? Just because there's no margin. Like, let's say for this item over here, right? Let's say we search it by the highest price, $14.99. This is $9.99. But maybe there's something cheaper out there, right? Let's go ahead and search it by the lowest. You can see that this item is $5.49. And then if we searched it by the highest, by the normal listing, we can see it's $9.99. This item is $5.49 and this item is $5.35. All right, so I wouldn't be afraid to list this item, right? It's cheaper. You can see from 31 to 34 inches, it's $5.49. I could just go ahead and copy this title, right? And I can go ahead and press import and I could sell it. Right? Don't worry about the picture too much. The only reason that I wouldn't list this item is because I don't like selling clothing or like anything with sizes. Sizes causes me problems, so I'll stay away from it. But as long as you get the concept, yeah. So let's take a look at another item, right? Let's widen the criteria a bit. The reason that I'm widening the criteria, which you shouldn't do, you should just keep scanning more people, scan 1,000 people, scan of many other people, and you'll get more data, right? So the reason I'm just widening up the criteria is because I didn't scan people, so I didn't have a lot of data to work with. I just wanted to go ahead and just explain the method and concept to you. So I'm looking for an item that sold 3 times in the last 30 days now, right? So let's look for something that has a little bit more margin. So let's see if we can find anything. So this item, 22 powerful pipe dredge deodorant. Um, what is this? Melmodate powerful dredging agent. Okay, sure. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. Let's take this example. So we're looking for a 2-pack, right? Let's go ahead on, and if we search on Amazon, we found this item 9.99. Oh, it's not bad. I mean, the margin is there. Let's go ahead and check the sold competition. So 2 people sold it, 3 people sold it, right? But they're selling it for so cheap that I don't even want to touch it. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to work with that. So let's look for something else, like happy birthday decorations banner for men. Okay, so this one looks like, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of variances on Amazon. You can see 871, 1099. But what I care about the most is the cheapest price, because the cheapest price I could go ahead and sell for more. So maybe this item over here, right? Let's go ahead and just copy his title and price, and then press import, and then you can see this item is 459, right? We're using his exact same title. So let's go ahead and look for the competition that has it for the cheapest. Let's go ahead and look for the lowest price. You can see it's 9.99. Well, we're looking for like the cheapest competitor that has something very similar. So it looks like to me, I think I think I think this is the one, right? I'll go with 1250. Right? If we, I think 1250 is a decent number. So I'll put 1250, and then I press snipe. You can see the item, the picture is completely different, right? But the title and the price is what's the most relevant here. So I hope you understand how to snipe on eBay. It's just really, you're selling titles, you're selling keywords, you're selling the price, and then you find a picture, an item to anchor all of that together. And the last thing I'll talk about very quickly, the reason why we're using the snipe list is because when you click sell now, what ends up happening is your item gets associated with this, right? Similar items over here, right? Inspired by recent views, or what eBay goes ahead and associates the item that you listed, right? When you click sell now. And that's what our software is doing, right? Is when you click snipe list, it's using this item number and going ahead on the listing and clicking sell now and associating our listing with theirs. And when it associates our listing with theirs, what ends up happening is our item gets shown with their items, and then the competition sees that our price is lower and ends up buying the item from us instead. So that's the reason why we do it, and why we're using the snipe list instead of just listing like manually from the scratch. Alrighty. Have a good one.